Welcome back to the development. Welcome to episode 3. Welcome back to the Firs. This is our first filming of 2025. I have to say, since the turn of the new year, I've been on site a hell of a lot, heavily invested in the project at the moment, and you can see there's a huge transformation that has happened since we were last on site. And as every week goes by, I see a big evolution of the building. Come with me, let's have a walk around. We see the roof cladding is going on above the photo studio and above the detailing bays. These guys actually seem to be doing a really good job with this cladding system. It's the design of the cladding system. We took quite a while to choose. We did have some input from the local authority because they wanted a certain design on the building, and that's why the building has a mixture of the rubble stone walling and the metal cladding. I think when it's finished it will have a really nice mixture of very contemporary very traditional. Air bricks. This is something that's interesting for you guys. So I only discovered, I'm sure other people in the team knew beforehand, but we have something like 220 air bricks on these buildings. It's something to do with getting the gas from the foundation or footings out of the building. I think that's what it is. We've gone through a stage of trying to choose an air brick. These are temporary, by the way. These are rubbish, horrible plastic, temporary. We've gone through a process of trying to find the right air brick that lets the right amount of ventilation out so we don't have to include more air bricks on the building, and also finish it where it blends in well enough. So if you come with me, you see here, so that we've got the temporary air brick, the terracotta orange plastic disgusting thing on the right, and then we've got another version that meant that we could have less air bricks on the building. And then we've got this more expensive version. I say more expensive because it's ingrained in my head of how much these bloody air bricks are costing us, but finished in lots of different colors. And then we chose which one we thought blended in best in the building. So that's the type of design exercises that we're going through on every single aspect of the buildings. Our chosen air brick, after long discussions, lots of painting samples, is that bad boy. Anyway, let's go back inside. Last week we went to see Jnr about doing the garage fit out of all the detailing bays. I love their furniture. There's been a couple of other companies that have reached out to us as well, actually. So we are deciding at the moment whether we want to go with Jnr. We're looking at the quality of their product, some other options that we've got on the table. So that's quite exciting. I actually had got more excitement picking the furniture out for those detailing areas rather than picking our kitchen out for the new house, actually. But I guess lots of you car people can relate to that. Even though we do not have a roof on in this space, if you actually look at high level, there is high level containment that has already been, that's started to be installed by our M&E company, Dark & Taylor, who, I gotta say, I think they were featured on episode 2. They're really good people to have involved on the project, actually. Mark Swadlin and his team, they're doing a bloody good job. Everything is very efficient. I guess on a building of this nature, you know, everything needs to be meticulous. It's a state-of-the-art building, so you want state-of-the-art services, but it's still very nice to see. They're doing work for us at the moment at the house, and when you look at their containment and you look at all of their cabling and how neat and tidy it is, I'm sure it's going to be exactly the same here when they complete these works, but just their containment alone, putting it in, engineered, the installation is engineered to perfection, and you know, that's very much what I like to see. And you can now see that they have the radon protection already fitted and installed. And this, oh, I'm going to take the tape down. Come on, Dan. This floor, the screed is going to be poured on Friday. Cannot believe that we're pouring the screed on Friday on this floor. The partitions, the plastering is going to be started, I think, in a couple of weeks' time. I'm being pushed at the moment about speaker decisions, about the cabling that's got to go in the wall for the speakers. So apparently one speaker and another speaker, they don't have the same type of cabling. So I need to choose which speaker I'm going to go with because there's different cabling. You'll see all the window frames are going in for the glazed partitions. You know, generally it's coming on really, really well. Nothing too dramatic at the moment. We're fighting very hard because a project like this, we're not doing it all to, you know, there's no regard to cost. It's a blank open check. That's definitely not the case. You know, I'm watching every single penny. I know how much our air bricks have cost us. I know how much our glazed screens have cost us and how much our screed floor is costing us. Every single penny, my eyes are definitely on, and I've got people on the project that are obviously even keeping their eyes even more so on that, and their role, the Walker Pritchard team are doing a great job of it. But you know, we have to watch the pennies because it can very easily get out of control. But generally, you know, we're in a good place at the moment, and I'm looking forward to us getting into the spring, seeing all the cladding on the building, seeing the rubble stone walls up. We've got beautiful ashlar, all the cut stone that's going around both gable ends here on all sides. On all the gable ends, it's going to be all cut, polished ashlar stone. And I think that's just going to make the building absolutely pop. Pulling into this courtyard, we've got to, the landscaping is something that I'm spending quite a bit of time on at the moment, working with landscape designers, just how we break the areas up, where there's going to be tarmac, where there's going to be some paving, where there's going to be some soft planting areas, where the lighting, you know, lighting on this project is one thing that I've really been pushing everyone to make sure that we get the lighting right. Of course, it's stupidly expensive, but it's so important. I think when we put these cars, our cars, in these spaces, if it's lit poorly, the cars won't look as good as they deserve to look. You know, it needs to feel like a museum. The cars need to stand proud. They need to look spectacular, and lighting is a big part of that. Wow, the time is flying by. We are now in March. It's so nice to not wear a big, thick duffel coat to keep us warm and a woolly hat. We've got much better weather, the sun's shining on us, everybody's really happy on site. It's the first time that we've filmed for a few weeks, and the progress, you know, if you leave this site for 2 weeks and then come back, it just has transformed, and you see so much going on around the site, but we're all on target. It's not getting less stressful. We're at that area now where we've got to sign off a lot of the interior details, and that's something that I've really been spending a lot of time on because I'm trying my best not to get anything wrong. I don't want to do something twice. Anyway, it's all exciting. If it was easy, you know what they would say, everybody would do it.
So we're now getting to the really interesting and exciting stage of this project. The building is pretty much constructed, steelwork's installed, roof panels are installed, it's becoming in the dry. So it is all on us now, M&E, mechanical and electrical. Everyone else has done their bit to get it to where it is. It's on us, program's on us, so we've got to perform. And we're currently looking here at the head end, the brain of the building. This is where the incoming electrical supply is coming into the building. So it comes from the substation at the rear of the site, runs down the side, comes up to a new main distribution panel. And from here, we distribute sub-main cables all through the building and the estate to distribution boards, lighting racks, fire alarm supplies, panels, mechanical equipment, all comes from this head end panel, which feeds separate plant rooms in various locations of the building. So a lot of work that's being installed at the moment will be concealed behind plasterboard ceilings, plasterboard walls. Once it's all finished, you'll see a light fitting, you'll see a mechanical duct, you'll see some power, you see some floor boxes, and then you won't see everything that's gone into this building behind the scenes. So what we're seeing today really brings it to life to show the amount of work that it takes to deliver a building like this.
When you get a feel now for the size of this, the entrance, you know, now everything's cleared out the way, we've got the scaffolding gone, they're just getting ready to start pouring the levelling screed. We've got our client lounge straight in front of us. I can just envisage now just maybe the Hamilton Formula One car here or the Lauda Formula One car here, looking across there, and the first thing that we're going to see against that glazed screen in the courtyard is maybe a McLaren F1 or P1 side on, or a LaFerrari. It's coming together. So we're pouring this levelling screed today, and Alistair, Kingley are being a little bit greedy, they tell me, because they're planning on pouring this whole area. So all of Showroom B, supercar showroom, all of the reception area, client lounge, male and female WCs, all today. In one day, they're going to pour the lot. So that'd be quite impressive. The boys seem to be getting on with it. Seems to be a nice, happy atmosphere on site, which is always good. Everyone's laughing and joking, but at the same time being quite serious, which is what I like to see. And can definitely feel plenty of progress.
We're currently stood in Showroom A. As you can see, we've installed all of the low-level services, the conduits feeding floor boxes for power and data, 5-amp lighting circuits. There's going to be insulation fitted over this, floor screeding, tiling, so you won't see any of this when it's all finished. All our lovely hard work, done and dusted, but hey-ho, we know what we've done. In this lovely huge space as well, we've got some suspended lighting track. Tom has really put a lot of effort into this lighting track because it's going to be the making or breaking of the space.
Classic car showroom. It's coming together, this is now. You can see that we've got the glazing in. What I envisage is we'll have cars side on, so maybe Ferrari 275s or 250s or 300 SL Gullwings. So when you drive down Tadmartin Heath Road, the first thing that you see is the subtle lights on in the showroom and just shining up or down, because we've got lights from all different angles in here, shining up or down on a beautiful 275 or a Gullwing, and that's the first thing that you're going to see when you drive past our showroom. Up in the ceiling here, I can see that we put some ducting in. This is the ventilation. So I find it quite hard to believe, because we've got such tall spaces, that the heating, the cooling and the ventilation has been designed to all come through one duct. And when you see the size of this duct on the floor, it's quite a large diameter, but when you see it into the apex of the ceiling, you don't even notice that it's there. And all of our ceilings are going to be painted black. We've got light coloured walls. You'll see the patching that's been put on the walls, because going through the design stage, everyone was asking me, what are you going to hang on the walls and where are you going to hang stuff on the walls? And I was like, I've got no idea where we're going to hang stuff, but We're definitely going to hang some stuff on the walls, so let's just patch this everywhere around. And then we've got our lighting that's going to hang. It's about just over 3 meters high. It's a track lighting that's been specially designed for all the showroom spaces. That's taken so much time to find the right light supplier. We've been working very closely with Xavio on who has designed the system. If our cars are not the best lit cars in the world, Xavio, I'm going to shoot them how much time we've spent on this project and especially how much money we've spent on it. But I've got confidence in them. Walk you through some of these spaces. That's going to be the team meeting room. So no clients will be going up there, but it will be glazed. So from our team meetings, our inspirational meetings of a morning, we'll be able to look down and get inspiration from the great classics. It's going to be really nice. That is really impressive. Here we've got the library. Just look at the size of this library. It's a joke. So there's going to be a spiral staircase. It's that leads straight up to our offices. So again, the team, if they need to come down to the library, they don't need to go through the central spaces. Our vision is to put 2 Formula One suits either side of the Critel style glazing. So we've got Critel doors that are going there. And I think we're going to put either 2 Ayrton Senna suits, because we've got 2 phenomenal Ayrton Senna suits that we've recently acquired, both Grand Prix winning suits, or we might put an Ayrton Senna and a Lewis Hamilton suit. I think this room's going to be really cool, actually. We've got a hell of a lot of more books that we need to buy. We've got quite a lot of books at the moment, but we don't even come close to what we can fill this lot out with. I carefully, actually, pen and paper. I didn't want to have a load of floor boxes all over the floor, but all these floor boxes have been carefully positioned, taking into account the actual tiling layout, so it doesn't go in any half-cut tiles. They sit in the middle of the tiles, and these go straight through the center of the showroom, but then otherwise all the car chargers will be fed from the walls, because that's the way I see the cars will be laid out.
So another exciting part of this project are the PV panels, photovoltaics. We're currently stood on the scaffolding, looking at the roof over the service area of the development, and you can see the brackets that have been installed, ready to accept the PV panels. There's approximately 120 panels on this roof, and there are other roofs on the development which also have PV, and in total there's 175 kilowatt hour peak of PV being installed. The PV panels have been designed to work in conjunction with the Kingspan roofing system. We have to miss roof lights, and we have to miss ventilation outlet pipes and soil invite vent pipes coming through the ceiling. So planning of this is key. It's got to look good. It's what we're going to see at the end of the job. And on a lovely sunny day like this, if the panels are on the roof, we'd be producing a good amount of electricity to complement and supplement the running of this building.
So we're going now to have a look at our solar panels, PV panels being installed. Today is the first day that they've started to go up. We've got a huge amount of solar panels on the project, which we've touched on earlier. It's quite exciting to see them go up and see what we're actually getting for our money. Hopefully, a lot of solar panels. What's really nice about these that we spec'd up is they will blend in so well with the roof that you'll never even know that they're fitted. We got our main man, Mark. Come on, Mark. This is another Mark from Dark & Taylor. This man here is very much one of the stars of our projects. So on both the house and on the showroom, you're overseeing both.
Yep.
He's hands-on with absolutely everything. He is one of the real impressive individuals on the job, actually, because he seems to know a lot about everything, which is quite good because I like dealing with experts.
Yeah, I know what I know and I don't what I don't.
So this is the part where you tell me you've got no idea about PV panels.
I don't know very much about PV. That's why we have experts who deal with it. I manage it, and that's about as far as it goes with it, unfortunately.
So what's the plan today?
So the guys obviously fitted all the brackets. They've
Yeah.
done that over the course of the last 2 or 3 days. Yesterday we had all the PV drops onto here, as you can see. and then they're starting down that end and working their way down.
So we've got PV panels on the whole of this east elevation, haven't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And this is going to be supplying your showroom.
Yeah.
But then what we've got over on the car barn is two elements. We've got a section that also supplies the showroom, but a section that also supplies the car barn as well.
Because they're very much split. So the storage building is got to be self-sufficient. It is a complete separate entity, and
battery backup as well there.
Battery backup there, yep. And we've got car chargers in there as well.
Yeah.
And we've also got car chargers on the main site here.
Yeah, we do. We've got
some for staff at the back,
some for the front as well,
and some for clients, but only clients who buy cars. The gap that you've left there between the two runs, is there a specific gap that you've got to leave, or is that what you choose?
Yes, it's where the clamps sit.
Yeah.
You can't have them on the overlapping crest.
Yeah.
And these panels are 2 meters wide. Now panels are 1.95 meters. So you've got a lovely 5 centimeter gap regularly all the way down.
All the way along. How long do you think it'll take you to do this whole run?
We've got 4 pallets here. We'll get 2 pallets done today. We'll get 72 panels done today, and then hopefully the same again tomorrow.
That's good, thanks guys. This is somewhere that we haven't been before. We've sneaked up to the roof and we're now looking down. Might never be up here again actually, because I can't imagine when I'm ever going to come up on my roof again. Looking down on the courtyard, see a huge amount of progress actually on the storage building. They've started and nearly completed the cladding of it. Seems very busy on site. It's nice to look down from here actually, and you see all the machines moving and everyone busy. This is going to be our main entrance for clients. There's going to be another entrance that comes into the courtyard, but this is from the main road. It's going to be slightly ramped down into the front courtyard. We've got a lot of stone retaining walls that are going up. I don't even want to talk about the cost of the stone retaining walls. And then it's just some soft landscaping. This is coming down quite a lot, this area, and then this will be the parking area. This is the modern car showroom, and then you'll park your cars there's about 8 parking spots at the front, and there's like 400,000 in the rear. Behind me, you'll also see our storage building and the progress that we've made on it. You can see the cladding. If you look down the west elevation, they've just got a little bit to finish right at the very end. Otherwise, the building is nearly completely cladded. It's amazing how quickly that's gone up. Obviously, it is a slightly different style and spec building to the showroom. There's much less residential areas. It's just a great big building that's watertight, got cooling, heating, dehumidification in it, but it hasn't really got the residential touches of the showroom, and for that reason it has just gone up so much quicker. Actually, what we have invested so much time on in that storage building is a misting system. So we're probably going to store in there somewhere between £500 million to £1 billion worth of cars. What is better? Is it better to have a sprinkler system, or is it better to have a misting system? And we've all came to the conclusion unanimously that a misting system is better, because if something does happen, and if it was to happen to go off, it would cause less damage than having a sprinkler system that could just, have a full deluge of water. So that's what we've decided upon. It's quite a sophisticated system. It basically is isolated to an area of concern. So if bay number 1, if there was a heat rise there, and if they could sense that there was an issue, that would be the area that the misting would go off at. And the first instance, if that didn't stop the problem, areas near it, next to it, and then subsequently all of the misting would come on. So we've got to put a huge tank in there. It's quite a sophisticated system, but we thought it was worthwhile. What was important to me as well is when you look at the roof, the metal clad roof, all of the fixing points. I've got OCD, and it would have absolutely done my head in if the fixing points, if one was slightly out from the other. So I'm not sure, they claim that they don't hate me because of it, but the one thing that I insisted the contractor and the subcontractor done is make sure that every single fixing point was perfectly lined up with the one next to it. So right the way round the site, all the fixing points on every single area of the roof should be perfectly lined up.
This has a really good feeling, this site. Our client Tom's attention to detail is second to none. He wants to know everything. He digs under the skin of everything. He really wants to know and understand. So it puts us under a bit of pressure. He keeps us honest. He keeps us on our toes. There's a lot of work for us at the moment to do. It's all to do with the fit out. So structures well on, roofs on, before the building can be closed up, it's all down to the M&E installation, and the pressure is on us. But it's a good site, it's a happy site. Really looking forward to getting stuck into this job and getting it finished.
So it's only been a couple of weeks since our last filming on site. However, so much is going on that we thought we would do a little bit more filming today. As you can see, we've got partitions going up. This is the divide between the contemporary car showroom and I suppose you could call the back of house, the photo studio, PPF bay, detailing bays. We've got plant rooms all over the place. I can't believe how big the bloody plant rooms actually. This is going to be our kitchen. So I'm sure all the staff is going to want this fitted out quite nicely, although the lunch break is very limited. We've got ladies and gents changing rooms. We've got downstairs WC, and then we come straight into the contemporary car showroom. And as you can see, we've got our Schuco doors. All the frames have gone in. When we get round to the next showrooms, you'll see actually we've got the glazed panels, and I've been opening and closing the doors and feeling how heavy they are. I have to say I'm quite impressed with that product. That Schuco seem to deliver. They're very German, but they deliver an absolute fantastic product. M&E going on. This is where there's a drop ceiling in the contemporary car showroom. So you've got a full height, quite a tall glazed area, and then we've got a drop ceiling, and then it goes back to being very tall again. So this is a little bit of an awkward space in order to get the speakers correct, and that's something we've been looking into at the moment on a design point of view, is trying to find the right speakers that will work in this environment, because I see this side of the showroom as an area that we may host some evenings, some events in, and that's the way we've designed it, so we can take the cars out this side and put a lot of tables in, chairs, maybe a stage, microphone. Not that we're going to be doing any entertaining by way of singing, but we might do a charity auction or two. We've got to, as part of building regs, or you have to put manifestation on all the glazed panels. So we're trying to make that as subtle as possible. That's another type of design element that we've got to go through. Just look at the size of the client lounge. That is actually insane. If you stand there and you see. So we got customer, ladies and gents WCs, and then this is the client lounge. I'm not sure how many clients we think we've got, but we haven't got that many clients. And then we go into the supercar showroom. So what I'm thinking here, I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up. We've designed it so we get a Formula One car in the entrance on a pedestal. We've spoken about that all along. Xavio Lighting have designed, we're going to put like an LED strip underneath the pedestal, so in an evening time when you look through, you'll see this Formula One car lit up, and then reception desk. But then I was thinking over here, you know, Formula One cars have been good to us of late. I think we're going to, in this supercar showroom, we're going to spread out some more Formula One cars. And my vision at the moment is I'm thinking another Formula One car side on in front of the glazed screen that goes out to the courtyard. So you see Formula One car here, Formula One car there, and then maybe a Formula One car on the exact same side on in the contemporary car showroom. So you just see 3 Formula One cars. we have not been short of a few problems of late. I've got to say, I was in a progress meeting 2 days ago. I've been actually on site for 3 days this week, setting up my pop-up office, you could say here, laptop, telephone. We had a little bit of a stressful meeting this week. Some things that frustrated me, annoyed me. I did promise that I would share everything along the way, and generally I have to say the contractor on this job I've been happy with. They're doing a good job. The site manager is so key and he's absolutely pushing things along. However, you know, a few things, one of them being the lighting design. So now we've got to a stage where you can see all this M&E is going in, and we've designed lighting tracks through the showrooms. Cost us a bloody fortune for the tracks, and it's cost us a fortune for the lighting design. We've been on with it for a couple of years, and I know how the lighting track works, and the lighting track works by way of it's suspended from the ceiling here in showroom B, but where you've got a drop down in this ceiling, it actually goes into being a recessed track system. However, apparently I'm the only guy who knew that, and now it could cause delays because that wasn't given enough due care and thought when they were what can I say, tendering the dry lining ceiling package. And this is a completely different process, because now with the brackets that need to go into the dry lining, the drop down track lighting going into recessed lighting is suddenly more complex, could cause delays, could cause extra money. You can imagine I just absolutely lost my because I know about it. I've known about it for the last 2.5 years, so I can't understand why nobody else knew about it. And my team also knew about it, so it was just kind of, I think, an omission from the contractor. So that is definitely an issue that we're trying to overcome at the moment. So let's move on. Insulation. Look at this. So we've got our, I think this is called the self-leveling screed, and then that's in. You can see the ducting that we've got in with regards to the floor boxes, the electric floor boxes that are going in this showroom. And then on top of that, we've got this insulation. It looks so modern, doesn't it? I can't imagine, what did this used to look like 30 years ago or 40 years ago? They probably didn't even include it 30 or 40 years ago. This is why I wanted to do some filming today, because soon this will all be poured and you won't see this. So you can see we've put the self-leveling floor screed in, we've put the M&E services in, the electrical services, we've put the insulation in, and now we've poured the final level of the floor in the classic car showroom. You can see the height difference. On top of this now, this is our finished floor. Well, the only thing that's going to be finished on top of this is the floor tiling. You can see all the reinforcement bars. On top of this, I think we then have to cut joints, expansion joints, because if we don't cut the expansion joints, when it eventually settles, our floor tiles will crack. All these little things that I suppose I've been learning on the project. When you look at it now, I don't know if it's just because we're a little bit taller, but I feel like it doesn't feel quite as large, although I might also be just convincing myself on that. It's really taking shape now. You know, it wasn't long ago that we was just pouring the foundation, the slab, then we started to just have the steels going up on one section, and now the steels are up, all the cladding's on, M&E services is well and truly started and underway. The floor's poured. We've got stone going up. Look at our lovely ironstone. So this is the most prominent facade. We're literally, what we are here, 20 feet from the main road. So as you drive by, the first impact you're going to see is our beautiful stone facade that then leads into the metal clad roof. Looks really good. I can't believe how quickly it's all coming on. Like I touched on, the last few weeks, if I'm honest, we have had a few more problems arise. The lighting design that I just spoke about is one thing. We've had car lifts. This is something that really frustrates me, and sharing my experience with you guys. I wanted to go with a company called Gemco, who apparently supply the best car lifts on the whole market for our detailing bays. Fantastic product, I think, although I haven't seen them yet. I negotiated the deal myself and I passed it over to our contractor, 28th of May 2024. Didn't think about it anymore, passed it over. That's the deal, that's I've agreed. And then I've only found out recently that that price is no longer in place. It's now a bit more expensive because there's been price increases. And I said, well, how does that affect me? I agreed it 28th of May. And anyway, the contractor hadn't supplied a purchase order, hadn't done anything with that agreement that I put in place with the manufacturer. So now I've absolutely threw my toys out the pram because I'm the one who's left holding the baby. I'm the one who is left holding the price increase where that shouldn't have happened. And that's the type of thing which, you know, sharing with you guys, like I said, that I would from the start, that's the type of thing that frustrates me about the construction industry. You know, ultimately the client, you know, we can only do so much and then we're in the hands of other people, and I am not one to waste anything. You know, if I sit down for a meal of an evening time, I don't walk away from the table and leave half a glass of Coke on there. You know, I'm the best spender in the world, but I just don't waste anything, and it absolutely kills me to think, even though it might have been a small price increase, that we're paying a price increase that we shouldn't have done because it should have been nailed in, it should have been locked in, a deposit should have been placed, and that should have been the price that we are getting our car lifts at. Anyway, trying to resolve the issue at the minute. That's one of a few other issues that we're trying to resolve, and I'm hoping that we will overcome it. Because as I say, that's something that doesn't sit very well with me. That's venting of the day gone. So I'm stood above our detailing base. Behind me, you can see the supercar showroom. You can see we haven't put the roof on yet on the end of the contemporary car showroom. We're a little bit behind on there, although at the moment the contractor is not one day behind on program. They are behind on some areas, but they're saying that they are stating they can make it up. There was some design detail issue on how the flat roof above, where you can see the office window, how that meets the pitch roof. There was a few design details that they're trying to overcome, and that's why that showroom roof hasn't been cladded yet. You can also see some PV panels. Now, the opposite side of the pitch of this roof, so on the most eastern elevation of the site, is full of PV panels. So I'm hoping that the cost of actually running this building is not too crippling. We're hoping, fingers crossed, that's the way it's been designed. So that's full of PV panels. It's also good for the environment. You know, we're trying to make the building as efficient as possible, but it's also as green as possible. We have this thing to comply to, which is called BREEAM, and it's got to be, I think it's BREEAM Excellent, the building, which is, it's got to pass that. That was part of the planning criteria. So bloody hope it passes it, because I'm not sure what happens if it doesn't pass it after it's all built. But yeah, PV panels are on. They've done a really good job. You can't even see them. I think it's because of the colour of the roof, the colour of the panels. We're up here now, but when you're down on the ground, they honestly just blend in. So it was a no-brainer to have them fitted. Storage building. Now that is fully clad. The first floor is in. It's actually currently being used as a car park, which I don't get to park in NCP free of charge. So I'm not sure why all these subcontractors on site are parking there and not paying for it. But I've tried it on and they won't pay. I don't think much else is going to be happening to that building for the next month or 6 weeks. And then there's a real big push with regards to the M&E. We're putting a misting system in. It's finding a location to put the tank, which we're going to try and hide it around the side of the building. It's this huge water tank that we've got to have, which is, I think, 8 meters long by 4 meters wide by 5 meters tall, but I don't know of any other storage facilities in the whole of the UK that's got the misting system installed, so we think that's going to be really good. I'm not sure if we're ever going to be able to get our money back for it, the amount of money that we've invested in this bloody storage building, but anyway, it will be done properly. But just seeing the site now, I am so pleased. It's now really taking shape, and you just get a feel for it. I've been walking on site actually after everyone has left and just visualizing, thinking, yeah, I can imagine being here at 8 p.m. and I can imagine walking over there, and I can imagine coming into the detailing bay, or how I'll open up and show clients when I'm here on my own. And that's the thing that I'm really enjoying at the moment, because of the stage that the project's at, I can start to visualize it better. Well, we've had a lot of the team down today. Last night we had a big celebratory night at the Soho farmhouse. We were celebrating the end of our financial year, and it's been a phenomenal year, and it's I suppose we're fortunate that it's happened to be a phenomenal year, and then the next transition is, our next step is to move into these premises. So we brought a lot of the team here today. There's a few of the team that are still recovering in the Soho farmhouse because they've got heavy heads, but I think the team really enjoyed walking around, seeing the facility. I got the impression they were all a little bit blown away. I'm living and breathing the development every week, and some of them, Emma for example, I don't think she's been down since the structure's gone up. So they do see plans, but when you're actually physically here in person, it looks very different. So it's been really nice actually to show the team around, and hopefully, I guess, excite them to think about moving down here and to stay on the THJ journey, and to stay in the team really, and to see what they're part of, because respectfully, you know, it's my name above the door, but without the great people that we have working in the business, we wouldn't be able to afford to build something like this. And you know, they're very important to me. I value them. I try and tell them every day, somewhere in between, that they need to do better, and then how great they are. It's somewhere in between both. You know, so it's about pushing them forward, but them also feeling very appreciated, and that they are part of something special. So it's been good to get them here today, and I think when they're next down, probably in another couple of months' time, they'll see another few huge steps forward again.
Yeah, it's great to see how far, you know, the project has come along. The last time we were here, I think only the foundations were in, so we haven't seen any of the structures or anything like that. So it's amazing how quickly it's come along. It's also slightly daunting, perhaps, seeing how big,
seeing it from the plans and then actually seeing how it's massive. It's a huge building, yeah.
And going from where we are now to here, I mean, it's going to be, you know, a fantastic move.
It's great to be involved in such a great project. It's an honour really to be involved and seeing it right from the beginning, from planning stages.
Yes, it's been going on for a number of years, and
now it's actually happening. You know, if you get to the stage when you never actually think it's going to happen, but it's here now, and it's real. It's great.
Well, this marks the end of episode 3. I'm hoping you're enjoying the journey. I was going to say enjoying the journey more than me, but actually I am enjoying this. You know, I'm enjoying it's for me, it's very educational. It's a great life experience to go through this, and I'm trying to share that with you all. It's a fascinating process, and you know, we look forward to one more episode to come before the finale.